around an hour after you fall asleep, your brain enters a state it will only visit a few times tonight. A state so distinct that scientists can identify it just by looking at your brain waves. This is deep sleep. And what happens during it is doing more for your body than almost anything else you'll do all day. Sleep isn't one long, uniform state. It moves in cycles, roughly 90 minutes each, through different stages. The deepest of these is called slow wave sleep, or N3, named for the slow, rolling brain waves that dominate it, delta waves. Delta waves are the slowest brain waves your brain produces. Big, rolling, synchronized surges of electrical activity, only 0.5 to 4 cycles per second. When researchers see delta waves dominating an EEG reading, they know this person is in the deepest, most restorative part of sleep. You get most of your slow wave sleep in the first half of the night, which is one reason a shortened, delayed, or interrupted early sleep period can cost you disproportionately more than losing the same amount of time later on. So, what is this stage actually doing? Let's start with something your body only does properly while you're in it: releasing growth hormone. Research on adult sleep architecture has consistently found that the majority of a night's growth hormone secretion is tied to slow wave sleep. The deeper and more consolidated it is, the more robust the release. This is part of why sleep researchers describe deep sleep as central to the body's nightly repair and recovery processes, not just for children and teenagers, but across adulthood, with natural decline as we age. The second major job of deep sleep happens at the level of your synapses, the connections between brain cells. And this is where it gets genuinely fascinating. One influential framework in sleep science, the synaptic homeostasis hypothesis, proposes that while you're awake, learning and experience strengthen synaptic connections throughout your brain. Left unchecked, this would eventually saturate your brain's capacity. Slow-wave sleep appears to help rebalance this, downscaling the weaker, less useful connections while preserving the stronger, more meaningful ones. It's less like erasing a whiteboard and more like your brain deciding overnight what's worth keeping. It's worth being honest here. This is a well-supported hypothesis with growing evidence behind it, not a fully settled fact. Research is still refining exactly how this process works in humans. The third function takes us out of the brain's circuitry entirely and into something more literal: cleaning. Your brain has a waste clearance system, sometimes called the glymphatic system, that appears to become significantly more active during sleep, flushing out metabolic byproducts that accumulate during waking hours. The foundational research here comes from animal studies, most notably in mice, which showed dramatically increased clearance during sleep compared to wakefulness. Human studies using brain imaging have found suggestive, broadly consistent patterns, but direct, well-controlled human confirmation is still limited. This is an area of active research, not a closed case, so it's fair to treat it as a promising but still developing piece of the puzzle. Put growth hormone release, synaptic rebalancing, and waste clearance together, and you start to see why deep sleep gets singled out among sleep stages. It's not just more rest. It's a distinct, biologically active process your body doesn't fully replicate any other way. Which raises the obvious next question: what reduces it? A few things with solid evidence behind them. Alcohol before bed, which suppresses slow-wave sleep even when total sleep time looks normal. Chronic sleep restriction. And simply getting older. Slow-wave sleep naturally declines with age, which is a normal part of the aging process, not necessarily a sign something is wrong. On the other side, a few well-supported factors that support deep sleep: a consistent sleep and wake schedule, a cool bedroom, research generally points to somewhere in the range of 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, as comfortable for most people. And regular exercise, ideally not immediately before bed. None of these are dramatic hacks. They're consistent, unglamorous, and they work because they support the biology we just walked through. One myth worth retiring here. There's no single supplement, sound, or app that reliably manufactures more deep sleep out of nowhere. The things that move the needle are structural: schedule, environment, alcohol, and time. Anyone promising an instant fix for slow-wave sleep specifically is making a claim well ahead of the evidence. So to bring it together, deep sleep is a distinct stage marked by slow delta brainwaves, concentrated in the first half of the night, responsible for growth hormone release, synaptic rebalancing, and, with more research still needed, brain waste clearance. It's one of the most biologically active things your brain does all day, and it happens while you're completely unaware of it. If you want to actually protect this part of your night, the fastest lever is consistency. Same sleep and wake time, most days, cool room, and easing up on alcohol close to bedtime. If you want the next layer of this, what happens in REM sleep and why it's just as important in a completely different way, that video is coming up next.